Hare Krishna. Welcome to Morning Amrut Vani program. His Grace Rupavilas Prabhuji will be giving his transcendental words of wisdom. His Grace Ramakripa Prabhuji will be reading the Namamrit, followed by Srila Prabhupada quote, followed by Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. Thereafter, Her Grace Sadhu Sevani Mataji will be reciting the slokas. Welcome to everyone once again. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु दंडवत प्रणाम। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितमेन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada की जय। His Holiness गोपाल कृष्ण गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। His Holiness भक्ति आश्रय वैष्णव स्वामी महाराज की जय। His Grace शिक्षा गुरु रूप विलास प्रभु की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। श्री नामामृत। Even unintentional chanting of the holy name, if offenseless, will take one back to Godhead. Sukdev Goswami to King Parikshit. While suffering at the time of death, Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord. And although the chanting was directed towards his son, he nevertheless returned home back to Godhead. Therefore, if one faithfully and inoffensively chants the holy name of the Lord, where is the doubt that he will return to Godhead? Srimad Bhagavatam 6.2.49. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada quote, 12th November. The principle of chanting is to glorify the Lord and not to attract a crowd. If Krishna hears nicely, then he will ask some sincere devotee to gather in such place. Letter to Subala, November 12, 1967. Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. Then in 1943, the British found that the Japanese, who had already taken Burma, were at the doors of India approaching Bengal. By the tactic known as the denial policy, the British sank many Indian boats carrying food and destroyed large rice crops, fearing that they would fall into the hands of the enemy. This left local Indians starving and without the boats they needed for trade. The the famine that ensured there was the worst that hit Bengal in 150 years. The government removed all control of food costs, and those who could not afford to buy at the skyrocketing price died in the streets of Calcutta. Srila Prabhupada, I have got experience. The government created artificial famine. The war was going on. So Mr. Churchill's policy was to keep the people in scarcity so they will volunteer to become soldier. So this policy was executed. Big men, they collected the rice. Rice was selling at 6 rupees per mound. All of a sudden, it came to 50 rupees per mound. I was I was in the grocer shop purchasing, and all of a sudden the grocer said, "No, no, I am not going to sell anymore." At that moment, the price was 6 rupees per mount. So suddenly he was not going to sell. A few hours later, I went back to purchase, and the rice had gone up to 50 rupees per mount. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Bhagavad Gita 14.19. Nanyam gunebhyo kartaram yadha drishta anupashyati gunebhyascha param veti madbhavam so adigachati. Translation. When one properly sees that in all activities no other performer is at work than these modes of nature, and he knows the Supreme Lord who is transcendental to all these modes, he attains my spiritual nature. Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam 4.13.24. Etad आख्ययि me Brahman Sunita Atmaja Chestitam Shraddha Anaya Bhaktaya Tvam Paravaravittama. Translation. Vidura requested Maitra, my dear Brahmana, you are well conversant with all subjects, both past and future. Therefore, I wish to hear from you all the activities of King Vena. I am your faithful devotee, so please explain this. Hare Krishna. चैतन्य चरितमृत मध्य लीला 5.35. देशे आसी दुई जने गेला निज घरे कट दिन बड़ा विप्र चिंतिता अंतरे. Translation. After returning to Vidyanagar, each Brahmana went to his respective home. After some time, the elderly Brahmana became very anxious. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. श्री श्री राधा रास बिहारी भगवान की जय, ललिता सखी विशाखा माता की जय, गिरिराज गोवर्धन महाराज की जय, सीताराम लक्ष्मण हनुमान की जय, गौरांग निताय महाप्रभु की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, मॉर्निंग चैंटिंग प्रोग्राम की जय, संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय. Even unintentional chanting of the holy name, if offenselessly, will take one back to the Godhead. Uh, the example is given about Ajamil. But we should understand Ajamil, when he was chanting at the deathbed, immediately after that, he was not taken back to the spiritual world. The process of pure chanting started from that day. He was so much afraid after seeing the conversation between Yamaduta and Vishnuduta that because of the little association of the Vishnuduta, he understood the reality of this world. He immediately left that place and went back to Haridwar. And there he chanted offenselessly 20 years. And after that, he was taken back by these four uh, Vishnudutas to the spiritual world. Yes, when you chant offenselessly, knowing unknowingly, the process of going back to the spiritual world begins. The Sukriti begins. But that is not the end. That is the beginning. Then you have to offenselessly chant at least 3.5 crore times. That is given in the Kali Santaran Upanishad. And then you are qualified to go back to the spiritual world. As far as Srila Prabhupada quote is concerned, it is never about name, fame, and money. Whatever activity we are doing only and only to please Guru, Parampara, and Lord. This should be the sole intention of doing all the activities. Never ever going for the fame, name, and prestige. Because according to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, these are considered as unwanted weeds in bhakti that will create a lot of problems. Our bhakti will not increase if we get, stuck in that unwanted thing of prestige name. It should be humble attitude to serve the Guru Vaishnava as it is in the Guru Parampara system and please Krishna. People can go to any extent, and that is what here Srila Prabhupada is speaking about the artificial famine that Britishers created because they were seeing that the Japan has just come to Burma and the Burma is gone. So in near next time they will be capturing the Bengal also. And that's why, and they wanted soldiers to join the army. So they created artificial famine. by dumping everything so that the people are forced to join the military. Dukkhalaya Shashvatam. We can understand that when you have the power greed, money greed, uh, you can go to any extent to make that happen and make the people suffer. So the problems were there in the past when Srila Prabhupada was there. Problems are there even today. The war situation is happening, and problems will be there in future also. But what is more important is we have to connect with Krishna. We have to connect with our karma. We have to connect with Guru Parampara. We have to connect with Bhagavatam. We have to connect ourselves with the Seva, and the rest Krishna will take care. So here Lord clearly says in this verse in Bhagavad Gita that the three gunas are working. Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun are working. Everybody in this material world is forced to act in Satogun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. And that's why it is said, according to the nature, he acts, whichever nature he has been more, and a divine person, a person in Shuddha Sattva Gun can understand. The soul is not acting, but the body, which is created by the Lord, the soul has forgot his actual position. The body, according to the modes of nature, whichever mode he is in, that will make him work that way, and that will make him suffer that way. That is the vision of a transcendentalist or a divine devotee. Here we see in Bhagavatam the approach mood of Vidura towards Maitreya Rishi for asking Tat Vidhi Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya Upadeshayanti Te Jnanam Jnanina Tattva Darshanaha. So this shlok nicely applies to this verse where Vidur humbly, very humbly, is asking the question how this happened with Maitreya Rishi. And that is the mood and that is the way one should ask to his Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru the questions. It should not be challenging. Now, the senior Brahmana who went back, he was in anxiety because he had promised in front of the Lord. And he knew that his son will not allow this marriage. So, tension mein aa gaya, senior Brahmana. Either he has to lie or either, what to do. So, he was in confusion. He was in pressure. And ultimately, we'll see in further classes that he lied actually or he remained silent. He was not able to speak in front of the son. And ultimately, the younger Brahman realized that it is not the fault of the senior Brahmana. But if the senior Brahmana says the false thing, he will get Vaishnava Aparad. And I do not want that the senior Brahmana should get Vaishnava Aparad. So he approached the Lord. And the Lord saved the Brahmana, the junior Brahmana, and the senior Brahmana, the words of the senior and junior Brahmana. So that is what his Lord always says. Huh? I protect my devotees. And I see that their words are completed. Even my words fail, but their words never fail. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.